Here and friend of Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic. She is here holding this enormous bottle of wine because next Wednesday, next door at the Kiggins, Niche will be celebrating its 7th anniversary with Portuguese wines and short films from Portugal. And you can find out next door about how to get tickets to that. And that evening, Leah will be opening this giant bottle and sharing it with the folks that are there. So you should come down and do that. It's an annual thing that we love. And thank you to Leah, who's here now. Thanks for having us, Leah. And thank you for... Yeah. And thank you, Judy. You're now... You're done with your... yes. Bring it back.
I don't think you're going to have a bottle.
So we're very grateful to be here. I'm Christopher Luna. This is my wife and partner in Truth and Beauty, Tony Partington. We do this on the second Thursday of every month and have been doing that since 2004. What they do on the evening that we're here once a month also is extend the happy hour for the duration of the evening. So any of the prices that you see here on the board that Tony is holding will hold for the rest of the night. Please be kind to them next door. We greatly outnumber them. And I also need to make you aware that what you have around you this evening is Questionable World Leaders, created by Brian Helfrich. He's a local graphic artist and graffiti artist. And he will be giving an artist talk on Saturday night. So if you'd like to meet the artist and find out what he was thinking with the Questionable World Leaders, then you're welcome to do that. Please, wherever you happen to be sitting in the room, be aware that there's art and glass showcases around, and try to be careful. Don't hurt any of the artwork. Yeah, could you raise your hand if you have an open seat next to you, because we have a few people that are looking for a place to sit.
One here.
We are getting close to. I don't think that one's open, but.
There's one over here.
Yeah, let's do that now. While I'm making other announcements. What other announcements do I have to make? The restroom is in the bar, so go through those doors at the back of this room to my right, and there's a very clean and wonderful restroom, which we call the Louvre, or the Louvre. And so this month, the artist who is featured in the Louvre is Adam Hess. So there's some cool art there when you need to do your business.
Louvre art.
Any more open seats?
I think, Christopher, are you making the announcement?
Which one?
About the chairs, you have a number of seats.
Oh, yeah. What we've got is what we've got here in terms of chairs, and we're not allowing standing at the back this evening because of the fire code. We're trying not to violate the fire code, so we may need to have a little bit of back and forth, etc. I'll be standing, but that's because I can't, and I'm the host. You know what I mean? But yeah, as far as the rest, we need to fill the seats, and then I guess we may need to have some people that need to wait a minute before getting in here. It's a good problem to have, I'd say. Okay. Welcome to Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, established 2004. We're very excited this evening to have Washington State Poet Laureate Todd Marshall. Not his first visit to Vancouver, Washington, but he's here to talk about an exciting book that he edited called Washington 129. And he'll tell you more about that later. It features poems from poets from throughout the state. And we're happy to welcome him back again. You'll see him just before our break in the second half. So we'll have a certain amount of open mic readers, then we'll hear from Todd, and then we'll take a break so that you can buy Washington 129, his other books, and stretch your legs and all that sort of thing before we come back for the rest of the open mic. So I think we're going to just try to jump right into this and get it going. Did I forget anything that I need to say to the good people?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I hope not. Scott, we begin tonight with Scott.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Hello, beautiful people.
Yes.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
My name is Scott, and I am also your Ghost Town Open Mic, Poetry Open Mic volunteer sound guy. So I will be helping you with the mic stand if you need help. If you don't want help, just wave your hands at me or something and I'll go away. If you do want help, please ask. And also, if you have any feedback about the sound or how it's going, if your ears are bleeding or you can't hear someone, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it and try to make it better. I'm going to do some poems for you. This one's called Free Campsites. The best spots aren't on the map, and would you put them there for all to see? Down a little road by the estuary, we found a fire ring. The sign only read, "No dumping." So pitch the tent, get some sticks burning, drink, sing, talk, and smoking. Make love to this place in the morning. Open the fly to let in some drizzling, cooling, hot bodies. Then go for coffee at the park's pretty wooden covering, pouring over underneath. Sit now by the creek and the trees off the road that happen to be where you wanted napping. Thanks.
Right on.
Watchman forgotten. I ring the bell in the steeple 3 times for evil. Feel it vibrate with dirty urban signal. Sirens night shrieking. Finding fine cracks, breaking brass backs. When the robots eat our trash, we'll be able to watch like TV, seeing the old lands full of TP on Street View, pointing to potential cultural artifacts or any reason to stop the shit show, stop the spiritual bailing out. When you said change could only come systemically, stemming from policy, I wondered, who do the policing of assuming and believing ourselves beside, withheld, abide? You cannot sell peace to pay down the mortgage on future holdings, so much more, clearly. I ring the bell in the steeple 3 times for evil, feel it vibrate while I gyrate with dirty urban signal. Sirens night shrieking, finding fine cracks, breaking brass backs. When the aliens come to save our ass, they'll ask, "Fuck were you thinking, silly little earthlings?" I may still be convinced our only hope isn't intergalactic intervention. Didn't someone mention a better plan? When you said that love would save us, I wondered whether there are enough drugs in the world to keep my heart alive. As it drives the point home, hand hovers over big red button. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying it. Poetry, I mean. Shit, you can barely give that shit away. Please submit resume, cover letter, references, letters of recommendation, summary of publications. We apologize, but there's no remuneration, reimbursement, stipend, office support, supplies, equipment, nada. We couldn't even get a bus pass donated by C-Tran. Sorry, we really are. Nobody's buying it, and even those tasked with giving money away to the arts say, poetry, last time we gave you something, we found it spent on wine, weed, and whiskey for a party of rather dubious characters. Too much comfort makes the work soft, like we want to see the struggle to survive, the fire in your eyes, authenticity glowing off your being after walking miles in the rain to get to this latest speaking engagement. Hey man, can you spare a buck to get a very important poet to a very important party? Poet, huh? I voted against replacing the bridge with one including light rail for this very reason. Keep those poets and pinky commies south of the river. My strength is mostly in my legs. You could say upper body is my weakness. Can't think of relevant publications at the moment. Please excuse my belief that poems die on the page. I'm sometimes found keeping questionable company, twisting words up with the good stuff and burning the whole thing down. Does that count as relevant experience? Is it cheating to say a public speaking opportunity, which makes me proud, is always also a challenge? Does this count right now? I can do poetry, I promise. And I'm willing to buy pens and paper to bring writing to the masses. Vote for me. Thanks.
I'll vote for you, Scott. Okay, and now please say hello to our good friend Herb Stokes. Come on up, Herb.
I didn't know I'd be called on so soon. So if my fly is open, just let me know by a signal. If you've heard this before, shut up. If I've heard it before, it means I've got it from somebody else. Well, I can't open the paper, so I don't think I can. Oh, here it goes. To be or not. He said he was having a problem remembering things and was especially annoyed when driving his car to suddenly wonder where the hell he was going. I think I may have read this before. It sometimes took a minute or so for him to recall his destination. I noticed him one day when I was driving near him. He had a look of desperate apprehension, but then apparently remembered where he was going with a jolt. I said he must have been relieved when he suddenly recalled his destination. He said no, that was when the damn bee stung him. He did not remember the destination until he turned around and was halfway home. I have not asked him about memory loss since he said I would probably find out about it soon, and we could both laugh about some dumb things I did. I somehow did not seem so funny after all.
Woo!
Don't spoil me.
I remembered what I forgot to say, which was to say a big thank you to Tiffany Burba for taping this. My family is all on the East Coast, so it's wonderful that people that can't be or have never been to Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic can see what happens here every month. That really means a lot to me personally. So we thank Tiffany for that, and I forgot to mention her because she wasn't sharing some of these themes, but we very much appreciate it. I'm also mentioning it so that you're aware when you get up here that that's what's happening. If for some reason you don't want to be a part of the video that will go up on YouTube, just make sure that you let Tiffany know before you read your poem. And next we are going to hear from Dane Deloyd. Where are you, Dane?
Yeah.
Hi, Ghost Town. My name is Dane. How you doing? I have to do some promotion, self-promoting. I'll be performing at High End Marketplace on Broadway, which is over there, I believe, on October 29th, 1 until 4 p.m. Please come out, it's free. It's the best price ever. I'm gonna do 2 pieces from my book, 100% Organic Music. I have the book and the jumbo book for sale, as well as flash drives. If you're interested, please see me. This piece is called Slave Skin. A little background on the piece. At the time I wrote this piece, I was working in Universal Studios as Shrek. So daily, my 9 to 5 was becoming a 9-foot monster and squatting down to take pictures with children. So, just so you have some background. The green ogre, over and over and over, back strong, weight of the world on my shoulders. The green ogre, over and over and over, back strong. My voice was groggy from the same old hobby. Had to get my green swamp on, Kermit the Froggy. The mean ogre, over and over and over, back strong, weight of the world on my shoulders. The ice age frozen, the dinosaurs colder, but I'm here for fossil fuels, crushing all the obstacles. I came to do what you label as impossible. They didn't get the memo. This is what they did though. Some occupied Wall Street, some Skid Row. Literary yuck in your mouth, hold your dental. Took him out of Hyde Park, put him in the kennel, and now you're dogged down dog yoga style, and you're not the type to wild out and sound off. To the Inquisition, got you in another ill imposition. You can't handle the weight, so you shouldn't be lifting. You're not clutch in game time. I use my hang time with the last second and rearrange time. The green ogre, over and over and over, back strong, weight of the world on my shoulders. The black ogre, over and over and over, back strong. These court jesters, they stole my ancestors and got the sign off from the Ivy League professors. And since I know they want to label me political, and then they ridicule, they try to string me up like a student in the citadel. But parody is truth, futile but pitiful. They offered a token position, an open admission of a place that couldn't be put in a closed position. The green ogre, over and over and over, back strong.
Oh, yeah.
This second piece that was number 3 on the first CD. This second piece is number 9. It's called the in. I put the in word, in, The dope fiend junkie, the primate monkey, the janitor clause, he refused to be the flunky. Impossible, try a propane geyser. Your cows can't graze here. The TC flyer. The alchemy's like gold, like Midas from the other side. I'm the East Nile virus with encephalitis. Blood diamonds in the cold coming, but still cool in the crisis. No money for dumb, dummy for none. Never bring a knife when you know they bring a gun. A marathon shitter. I'm in it for the runs with Al-Qaeda, ISIL agents getting Swedish funds. And bread bakers in it for buns. So before she put out, I put up until we I let it out. Your places was taken because your styles was vacant. It's far too easy to see the hatred's blatant. Not far from under, but not far from asunder. A financial blunder got your ass. From dollar to cent, I'll call it the mint, holler the paper, the color, the tint. Pistachios between white grape and Chardonnay, and take you for your pardon may all day. Watch what you say, don't get carted away. It's a raw breed injected. How many burgers flipped to get the raw poppy seed and make it gray? Skies. And those sloppy joes copy those, but they can't spoil my happy day. I put the in, the in, I let it out. Now, why was we not here mentioned in the past? More than a slave moniker clocked on a chronograph. As the creditors look to see where we are as dominant as the first draft. Global domination into whose domain passed, but whose domain lasts, to ascertain a caste system of hate made in haste, based on a fear of a cognitive place, only to the label chased to the worst place of the earth face, underneath the continental plate, bubbling, lava, pushing mountains to hilt. Soon comes the monsoons to bring in the silt, left from the last tribe kilt. See, karma never leaves. The soil still bleeds blood money, incurred from when days were sunny. Them fur traders weren't no dummies. Selling whose skin? Saying who's akin to the savage? Well, you say they're sinning and you're ravaging them. See, divide and conquer is predominant in the scheme. I seen typhoid dreams and smallpox killing the buffalo and poison the queen. Mad cow curdled the milk. Mad cream, churned in the butter, burned in the pan, blazed in the kitchen, learned from the man, put heat in the sticks, laser the sand. There's a haze that sticks and it causes fits. All day as I saute your ass with grits, ptomaine and your tapioca, you're plain, mediocre, mundane mute, scum and okra, saying they spit in juice, they not slimy, they grimy, similarly to being sometimey, criminy. Blimey, it's the end of your enemy. You'll have no idea and you'll have no identity. I put the in, the in. See, I'm from Pittsburgh and I ain't been there for years, but I still claim, and most other rappers are middle of the road, like Mill Plain. They ask, what's up with the local reference interjection? I'm crossed at the crossroads, that's the reason. I hear there's an intersection in Andreessen? heard there's a safe way there to put the in.
Thank you, man. Hope everybody comes out. October 29th, right? Yes. High-End Marketplace, 19th and Broadway. You won't be disappointed. Okay, next we're going to hear from Sabra. Please welcome Sabra up to the...
Wow, what a person to follow. Oh my God. Okay. I'm trying something different. I need your help. I need your participation. Are you willing?
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody willing? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got little cue cards for you. Can you read this?
How can I help?
What?
How can I help?
Okay. Can you read this?
Yes.
Okay. And can you read this?
No.
Awesome. Wow, I love the feeling you bring to it. Okay, so I don't know, I'm going to see how this works. So there's a little intro poem, just a little preface. When I was small, I sat on a stool and listened to my grandfather's stories. I really didn't understand what he was talking about, but I liked how he would change his voice for each person in his story. There was a scene playing in his head with a dialogue involving many. His gaze would shift directions when he would change the characters' voices. I sat and listened as he would relive memories in his life. My mother and father had heard all his stories before, but they were new to me. I didn't understand what his stories were about. I just knew that he needed to tell them, and I needed to help.
Woo!
What you don't know won't hurt you. An asteroid as big as a house came closer to the Earth than the moon last week. Didn't know that. If you didn't hear it, was it said? What you don't see, is it there? Is that like an open secret in Hollywood? Or if you don't laugh, it isn't funny? You might tell me that ignorance is bliss, or that was a private conversation and is none of my business, or don't believe your stupid lying eyes, or what happened to your sense of humor. Living out loud with your eyes wide open is dangerous, could make you a target. Remember, don't be a threat. Don't rock the boat. Get small. Stay down. Stay low. Keep silent. And smile always. It makes you look so much younger. Yes is such a pleasant word. And no one likes to hear no. I shudder to think. I tremble to believe. I'm astonished and bewildered. What you don't know won't hurt you. Stay small. Stay quiet. Stay still. Where to hide? Where is the shelter? Where is the refuge? The huddled masses wait, and the shooter waits. I refuse to believe that the world is divided into winners and losers, predators and victims, legal and illegal, them and us. I refuse to believe that I am alone. Where are the heroes and helpers? Are you... Are you a hero?
Yes!
Are you a helper?
Yes!
Are you?
Yes!
Do you want to be?
Yes!
Ask how you can help.
How can I help? How can I help?
We can create safety. We can ask questions. We can offer shelter. We can speak together. We can, here we go. Oh no. We can say
No!
We can say
No!
We can say
No!
Okay. I shudder to think. I shudder to think that we can create safety. We can ask questions. We can offer shelter. We can say no together. No, together. When one can say no, one can truly say a big, juicy, joyful
Yes!
Thanks. So now, along with our videographer and our sound person, maybe we need a cue card person here that goes down. Yeah. Okay, next we're going to welcome to the mic Alvaro. Come on up, Alvaro.
All right. Okay, after Sabra and Herb, I'm really confused. Okay.
That's all way.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I read this already because you got me really confused. So the first poem is a very short piece. It's in reference to the contemporary USA, very short. Since January, I feel like I have been in a dream, nightmare, I'm not sure. So it's called USA Today. We live in an amalgam of Wonderland and Neverland, where adults are children and the king is the Mad Hatter. Now, to something a little bit more serious, but shortish also. It's a poem that I wrote after I took a walk in the forest with a friend. It's called The Eagles. I'm new in the Northwest. I've been here for 3 years. So bald eagles are something amazing when you see them, okay? So, the eagles. In the immensity of the forest, the only sound is the chirping of a bald eagle. But it's not one, or two, or three. It's a flock of four, gliding effortless at a great height. The sky is of a striking blue, and the only moving objects against the celestial canvas are the four eagles. I wonder if the eagles could confuse your blonde hair with the sun. If they did, the world would be upside down. It's only spring, and the forest is already green. A warm feeling flows through my body, and I feel your closeness as we walk. I look into your eyes, and I see the eagles flying inside of them, and wonder what you are thinking about. I wonder what life is all about, and holding your hand, we continue walking with the sound of the eagles in the background. Thank you.
I'm going to reposition just a little. I have to make fun of myself every month because I can't ever remember what to turn on here. You'd think I'd know by now.
Turn on mic.
Yes. Okay. Hi.
Hey.
And I was listening to the news, and I was so glad that there was a mention of, is it an asteroid? Yeah. And so you're all here, which means it didn't hit.
Right.
Thank goodness. I didn't know what to make of that. I thought, I mean, I heard about it a few days ago that there was a potential, and then I heard it missed us, and I shouldn't have chuckled, but I did, because I thought if it didn't miss us, I wouldn't be hearing in the moment that it missed us. So Yeah. Anyway, it was breaking news. So let's hear from Jim Martin. Come on up, Jim.
Well, that was very poetic. An asteroid striking the Earth is breaking news.
Yes, it was.
Breaking.
Breaking.
Okay, I don't like to do rants, but I got 2 rants. And they're not poetic, they're just rants. One was based on something I read. It's a quote, a tweet from Matt Bevin, or Blevin. Well, I don't know. His last name, it has a B, an E, a V, an I, and an N. And he's the governor of Kentucky. His quote is, "To all those political opportunists who are seizing on the tragedy in Las Vegas to call for more gun regs, you can't regulate evil." Yes, like that. And so my poem is either Ode to Matt Blevin, or You Said So Yourself. A mouth opens wide. Emergent words fire with deadly accuracy. Nail protesting voice to the wall. Voice demands better gun control after deadly Las Vegas carnage. The nailing words, shot from open mouth, wide and angry, speak a great wisdom. You can't regulate evil. For a moment, silence from the crowd. Then, a voice. Correct. We all know that. We can't regulate bank robbery, armed robbery, fraud, drowning your young children, raping a woman on a college campus, murdering happy celebrators. No one has ever been convicted of that because being evil, it can't be regulated. But sir, Governor, add to that list one more evil we can't regulate. Your voice, naturally. Because we cannot regulate evil, you said so yourself. And then one more, it has a title, it's probably not going to be its title forever, but it's what came to me when I was thinking about it. Thoughts from the Dark Ages. Seated, proud before the world's leaders, is this your highest moment? What is the feeling when you espouse your own worldview? Spit your words at all in this assemblage. A speech which had never met critical thinking. You, unaware of diplomacy's power, collaborative thinking, developed over millennia. Instead, you use your unpracticed mind. Draw on the simple thoughts of the limbic, home of anger and hate. Ignore the wisdom contained in the cortex, which considers words. Considers words you speak, your thoughts, before you utter them. Relying on the limbic, your angry words, missiles aimed at one country, threaten to annihilate it. Words from the limbic unable to move beyond an enemy's face. To notice the 26 million who would also perish. Peasants, poor, children. To avenge the words and acts of one person you don't like. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Next, we're going to hear from Alex.
go with Carter and
It should be okay.
Is that going to work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just tilt it a little bit first.
There we go.
You're doing great.
Hey everybody.
Hey.
So on Sunday, I had a book launch up in Seattle for my debut chapbook of poems, The Myth of Man.
Yeah, right
on. Published by Floating Bridge Press, which is a Washington State poetry press. And you should support them however you can. If that means submitting your own chapbook manuscript to them, I think sometime in the winter. It's either right before the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. Do submit that, because if you submit, you get all 3 of the winning chapbooks. So you basically win no matter what. And tonight I'm going to read just 2 poems from this, and they're actually both poems that I wrote, at least the first draft of, at Chris's workshop next door on Saturday. So here's some proof that that works really, really well. So the first poem is titled Stapler, which is a, however you pronounce it, a brand of pen, which I will be signing these with. So here we go. Stapler. I am fauna. I am Darwin's dinner. Screech of knife against china. Lover's feet rest upon my back. Coffee table in a wine bar filled with old corks. Daughter of winos, son of the bottle opener. Bodies of rocks acquaint themselves with the new form of their old, dead friends. The sedimentation of human-made oceanic plastics. Armless red chair pinned into myself, reupholstered over and over. I am plumper. Take a seat. There is no pen to dress me up. I could not afford the set of 10 you bought me my last week of college. The colors are fundless, fondness. Their ink clouds my identity, a gift that leaves me ignorant, uncurious, an evolving organism fighting to stay alive. But you're evolving faster than me, and you've grown a new mechanism to cover your cephalopod escape. I do have, I think, just 2 copies left with me. I didn't bring a ton of them. They're $10. If I run out tonight and you really want one, I'm having a launch reading event thing just a couple doors down from High-End Marketplace on the 20th. So I'll have tons of copies there. You can also go to floatingbridgepress.org. You can buy all of the winners there. And yeah, so here is another poem. This one, so tonight is the anniversary of the death of Matthew Shepard. And this is a poem it's intentionally not quite what happened, because it happened so much in so many different ways that are all so eerily similar. So this is titled, I'm Still Writing About the Boy They Killed. The opalescent shine in the roof of your mouth gilds the fishy breath on my name. Every word squeezed from your throat spells out the little curiosities that make my fingers tremble. But the God grace in your step is gone, dead like roundup weeds and the cake sprinkles of autumn leaves. Dead and dragged martyr, shell hauled across cornfield, confident brawny clown hiss ringing through already red and rotting ears, hammer clang in onyx night. Killed for exuberance, killed for queer. The strength of a spider doesn't come from fang or poison. It's in the thread they bind you in. Silk steel chains tying your wrists, shoulders, ankles to the winch of a muddy old pickup. Thank you.
Yeah.
I beg your indulgence just for a couple of moments. We have not brought before this group an opportunity in our fundraising efforts for a while, and we've only done it one time, and that was to bring the Beat poet David Meltzer, who has since passed, to bring him here and to be able to offer not only a reading, but a workshop with him. And our fundraising to bring him here was really successful, and so I want to first thank our community for believing that his work and bringing him here to be in Vancouver was important enough and supporting us in that effort. So, I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about a new fundraising effort that we want to put forward to our community. When Christopher was inaugurated or appointed, or whatever the word is, as Poet Laureate of Clark County back in 2013, he thought about what would I like to do as a part of that role. And he decided that he'd like to bring poetry to the schools. That a Poets in the Schools program would be a really not only cool and fun thing to do, but a really wonderful thing to do to give exposure to the students of local poets. So since that time, he's put together a small team, and that team has been going into the schools consistently. And I'm really proud to say that the team consists of 4 teaching poets who went in last year to 6 different schools, even went out as far as Amboy, Battleground. So we've really got our tentacles out there outside of the Vancouver and Evergreen district. We're out in other districts. And the great news, tops the number of student contacts from the year before, our 4 teaching poets had contact with 681 students. Unbelievable. It's important, it's extraordinary, and it's unbelievable. So we're good. We had our planning meeting, and we're going forward with this year, 2017-18 school year. The poets have already talked with the schools, with the teachers, and they're going to get ready to go into the schools after the first of the year. And we have one teaching poet that's actually going to work with a librarian on her poetry program for the year at one of the elementary schools. So it's so exciting to watch what happens, and then to watch the students submit their poems for Poetry Move, to have their poems on the buses. That happens once a year. And then to talk to those students about what the process was like, to have a poet come into their classroom and for them to begin writing, and then to think about themselves as poets. And last year when we did the presentation at Esther Short Park, there was one 3rd grader that blew me away. She blew me away with her writing, with her presence, and then at the end, when I was talking to her, she said, "I have to write forever." Yeah, and there's nothing better than hearing that from this young lady who just had so much excitement, but so much belief in herself, and it was really rewarding. So I'm here to say that we're good to go this year, but we're already thinking about fundraising for this program for 2018-2019, and our goal is to raise $1,700. We're on a shoestring. We want to raise $1,700 by this next National Poetry Month in April of 2018. So I'm launching it tonight. We have this very high-end donation box, right? Old candies and cookies, but you know what? And we also have available, and any donation, I'm talking about anything that would help us to meet our goal. I also have a few copies of our end of the year report, which talks about where the teaching poets went. The schools are listed, and some commentary by the teaching poets about what their experience was like this last year, if you'd like one of those. So it's not a hard sell, just to say we're out touching students, and we're spreading the word of good poetry all around Clark County. And having said that, I want to introduce our next open mic reader, who happens to be